ሰላም ተማሪዎች እንደምን አላችሁ? ዛሬ አናሊቲክ ጂኦሜትሪ የሚለውን ጀላሽ መጥቻለሁ። ምክንያቱም ብዙ ተማሪዎች አናሊቲክ ጂኦሜትሪ ወይም የመጨረሻው ኮኒክ ሴክሽን ቢሰራልን የሚል ጥያቄ አንስታችሁ ስለነበር ማለት ነው። ስለዚህ ጂኦሜትሪ ማለት it is one of a branch of mathematics which studies about pointers, about lines, about curves, about surface and so on. እነዚህና የመሳሰሉትን የሚያጠና የማthematics branch we call that is analytic geometry እንለዋለን። So when it comes to this part we consider the following by representing them with what equations as well as በመገልጻቸዋለን or coordinates በኮኦርዲኔት ልንገልጻቸው እንችላለን። በዛ አይነት መንገድ የምናጠናበት way of geometry we call that is analytic geometry እንለዋለን። In case of this analytic geometry it consists of different cases. We say that a point may be a coordinate or Cartesian system. Point ስንል ይችላል it may be coordinate geometry or it may be with ordered pair. The other one we may say that is point means the point may be represented as the forms x, y. The coordinate geometry. The other one may consider here is distance between two points. It may be distance between a point and a line. It may be distance between a point and a line. A line na በፖይንት መካከል ወይም በሁለት two points መካከል ሊሆን ይችላል. The other one may consider midpoints. We have midpoints or we may use line segment formula. We may consider in case of lines we may consider here we have lines with a slope and equation of lines. Slope of line and equation of line. We may consider this one. No way of detail ነገሮችን ሁሉን ነገር ለማየት ላንችል እንችላለን. But when say that lines it may be the slope of line as well as equation of line. The other one that is the main concerning here we have that is a conic section. In case of conic sections as we are familiar it is the state of what shapes like circle, parabola, ellipse, hyperbola. እነዚህ እንደገና ኮኒክ ሴክሽን ላይ ሞር ትኩረት ብትሰራለን ያላችሁት it considers circle, parabola, ellipse and hyperbola የመሳሰሉትን ይዛሉ። In any way analytic geometry ማለት it studies about geometry ሆኖ but it studies ስለ point, lines, curves and surface የመሳሰሉትን it may be represented as the form of equations or lines. በኢኩዌሽን ወይም ደግሞ በላይን or coordinate forms express ልናደርግ የምንችለው የምንገልጽበት way we call that is analytic geometry. When say that coordinate it may be Cartesian plane ሊሆን ይችላል. A point means it may be represented as the form of x, y. In case of distance we may try to find distance between two points or a point and line ሊሆን ይችላል. We have midpoints or line segment formula ይኖረናል. lines ስንል slope and equation of line consist ያደርጋል. And next one conic subsections. In this case how can we find distance formula? Distance formula የሚለውን እናያለን. How can we find distance formula between two points and between a point and line የሚለውን እና at the same time between lines የሚለውን እናያለን. The other one circles. How can we define circles and standard form of circle equation እናያለን እዚህ ጋር. Next one that is parabola. How can we define parabola? The next one we consider about ellipse. Next last one we consider that is parabola. እነዚህን አምስት ሰብሴክሽኖች እናያለን ማለት ነው. Let's come to the first one. In case if you have point P x1 y1 and point Q x2 y2 if you have such points how can you find distance between the two points P and Q? The distance formula is what? As you are familiar that if you have for instance here is on number line let us consider here is negative 3 0 2 to 5. Let's take this point that is P. Let's take this one is Q. Let it be this point is R. So what is the distance between PQ? PQ is denoted as using magnitude or absolute value. This is equal to 5 minus 3 we can say which is equals absolute value of 8 is equals to 81. ይህ ማለት በሌላ አነጋገር we may take what the difference between negative 3 minus 5 የሚልን መውሰድ እንችላለን። PQ ነው Q minus P እንላለን ወይም ደግሞ QP means what the same that is which is equals absolute value of negative 81. This is equals to 81. So distance between two points P and Q is equals PQ or QP. We can express in both forms that is the distance between P and Q ያሳያል ማለት ነው. So we take a magnitude of what the distance between two points magnitude or absolute value. So this is equal to ይሄ ምን ያሳያል በሌላ አነጋገር which is equals the square root of 5 minus the whole square here ማለት which is equal to at the same time the square root of negative 3 minus 5 the whole square ይሆናል ማለት ነው። We apply this distance formula. We call this is distance formula, which is equals the square root of 8 square. This is also equals to the square root of -8 the whole square ይሆናል። What does imply? This show that the absolute value of the value that you have ይህንን ማግኒቱድ ስለሆነ absolute value ነው የምንወስደው። This is equals the square root of 64 ይሆናል። At the same time, which is equal to the square root of 64 ይሆናል። So take the absolute value of this magnitude. This is equals to 8 ይሆናል ማለት ነው። So we call this is distance formula ብለዋል። በዛ አይነት መንገድ ማንኛውንም points between two points ያለ distance በዛ አይነት ወይ ማግኘት እንችላለን። We call this is distance formula እንለዋለን between two points. Next one that is division point of line segment, or we call this is line segment formula እንለዋለን. In that case, if we consider 1000, if we divide this one for 2% equally, we can say that this implies that each of them gets 500 ብር ያገኛል ማለት ነው። አንድ ሺህ ብር ቢኖርና ኢኳሊ ለሁለት ሰው እናካፍለው 500 ይደርሳል። That means 1:1 ratio ይሆናል ማለት ነው። Ratio 1:1 means that is x plus x is equals to 1000 ይሆናል ማለት ነው. This show that twice of x is equals to 1000 ይሆናል የሚያሳየው ማለት ነው. Which shows x is equals to 500 እያንዳንዳቸው 500 ይደርሳቸዋል ነው። Similarly, the same problem we have 2 to 3 ratio ቢሆን ምን ይሆናል? This means 3 times some amount plus 2 times of the amount is equals ምን መሆን አለበት? 1000 መሆን አለበት ማለት ነው። ratio which implies this is equals to 5x is equals 1000 ይሆናል። ይህን ratio ስንወስድ x is equals to 1000 divided by 5 ስናደርግ ምን ይሆናል? That is 200 ይሆናል። This show that the first person gets 400 ይሆናል ማለት ነው። የመጀመሪያው ሰው ስንት ያገኛል? 400 ያገኛል። The second one gets 600 ብር እንላለን። So we call this is ratio. So when it comes to distance between two points በዛ አይነት መንገድ ratio ማግኘት እንችላለን። ይህ ማለት in case of two points P and Q, we have Q and we can find a point R which consists x not y that divides line segment PQ. PQ divide የሚያደርግ with the ratio R1 to R2 is given by the forms. This R1 to R2 is given by the coordinate for the first one, that is P x1 times R2 plus x2 times R1 divided by the sum of the ratios R1 plus R2, comma in case of second coordinate y1 times R2 plus y2 times R1 over R1 plus R2. We call this is line segment formula. So from any points that you have P and Q, we can find any point in between them. በሁለት መካከል ማንኛውንም point ማግኘት እንችላለን። We call line segment ነው። ነገር ግን if it is midpoint, in particular the midpoint of PQ is given by, when say that midpoint means the ratio becomes 1 to 1 as we take or divide 1000 ብር for two persons equally. እንዳካፈል 1 to 1. So 1 times x1 that is x2 x1, 1 times x2 that is x2 divided by 1 plus 1 that is 2 ስለሚሆን because this is midpoint formula that we obtained between two points PQ እንላለን። በዛ አይነት መንገድ እናገኛለን ማለት that is midpoint ratio እንለዋለን። Now let us see examples on this. እዚህ ጋር ስናይ P is given as 3 3, Q is 7 8, then find the coordinate of the point R on the line segment PQ with the ratio 2 to 3. How can we find this one? We apply the formula. That means the point R is equals to, normally this is equals to, with the ratio of this, it is R2 times x1 plus R1 times x2 divided by R1 plus R2. It is comma the second one, R2 times y1 plus R1 times y2 divided by sum R1 plus R2 ብለን ይህን formula line segment formula apply እናደርጋለን። So this is equals to our x1 is, this is 3, our x2 that is 7. When it comes to y1, our y1 that is 3, our y2 is equals 81. Substitute these values, and again this 2 is R1, 2, this is R2, 3 is R2. When it comes to here, this is equals to R2. R2 means 3 times 3 x1 plus the second one R1 that is 2 times x2 that is 7 divided by the sum of this 2 plus 3 that is 5, comma the second case becomes that is R2 that is 3 times y1 that is 3 plus R1 that is 2 times y2 that is 8 divided by 5. So the value becomes 3 times 3 that is 9 plus 2 times 7 that is 14. 9 plus 14 divided by 5. Second one 3 times 3 that is 9, 9 plus 60 plus 1 6 divided by 5 here. So when we take this ratio, in ratio 9 plus 14 that is 23 over 5. The second one, 9 plus 16 that is 25. 25 divided by 5, it is 5. So the ratio is 2 to 3 becomes what? 23 over 5 and 5 here. We can express such forms. When it comes to in case of midpoint, if our R is the midpoint of PQB hole, R is equals to take the sum of them. That means x1 plus x2 divided by 2 and y1 plus y2 is divided by 2. Why we take this one? Since the ratio is 1 to 1. Insert to line segment formula ስንተካ R1 is 1, R2 is 1 ስለሆነ x1 plus x2 ይሆናል. The same for the case of y case, which is equals to what the sum? The sum ይሆናል 3 plus 7 divided by 2, here is 3 plus 8 divided by 2 እናደርጋለን ማለት ነው. Result, this is equals to 3 plus 7 is 10, 10 divided by 2 that is 5, 3 plus 8 11, 11 divided by 2. Or if you want to have to express at the form of decimal, here is 5 and 11 divided by 2 means 5.5. በዚህ ማይሮንገ መግለጽ እንችላለን. This is the way of finding midpoints. በሁለቱም ኬዝ ምንድነው የተጠቀመው? ላይን ሴግመንት ፎርሙላን አፕላይ በማድረግ በዛ አይነት መንገድ ማግኘት እንችላለን ማለት ነው. Let us see the next. In case the distance between a point P and line L is given by the forms ax0 plus by0 plus c over the square root of a square plus b square ይሆናል. That means how can we find b2 distance between a point and a line L? In the formula apply now. No need of proving this one. In proof ማድረግ አይጠበቅብንም, but let us see this with example in there. If the point may from the origin means if it is point from origin, that means x0 y0 is equals to 0 0. In this case, what's the distance? The distance becomes this is equals to absolute value of c divided by the square root of a square plus b square. If it is from origin, distance a point P from the origin, that means x0 y0 that is 0 0 corner example there. So that the origin at point P 6 and 4 are equidistant from the line. This one with set equidistant ናቸው የተባለው. So to show this, let's try to multiply both sides by በሁለት ማባዛት እንችላለን. This is 2y equals to negative 3x plus 13 ብለን መግለጽ እንችላለን. And try to bring in one side. ወደ አንድ ሳይድ ስንወስደው it is equals to 3x plus 2y minus 13 is equals to 0. This is our line L. So let's try to find the distance from origin and P. 6 4 የሚለውን እንውሰድ. So let's say this is P0. Let it be from the origin 0 0. This implies that distance between P0 and L, let's say our L is equals to this is 3x0 plus 2y0 minus 13 divided by the square root of 3 square plus 2 square ማድረግ እንችላለን. Here we have P0, x0 and y0 are 0 0 ስለሆኑ which is equals ምን ይሆናል? negative 13 absolute value of this one divided by the square root of 9 plus 4 is that is 13 ይሆናል. 1 3 is equals to 13 divided by the square root of 13 ይሆናል. በዛ አይነት መንገድ ማስቀመጥ ትችላላችሁ. ካስፈለገ rationalize the denominator ስታደርጉ which is equals 13 times the square root of 13 over 13 ይሆናል. We cancel 13 by 13, what remains ምን ይቀርናል? The square root of 13 ይሆናል. 1 3. This is the distance between the origin and line L is this one here. Similarly, if we consider distance between P 6 with 4, implies that distance between P and L is equals to which is equals, instead of x0 y0 we substitute 6 and 4, which means 3 times 6 plus 2 times 4 minus that is 13 divided by the square root of እናደርጋለን. That means our A that is 3 square plus our B that is 2 square እንወስዳለን. This is equals to 3 times 6 means 18. 18 plus 8 26. This is equals 26 minus 1 3 13 divided by the square root of 13 which is equals 26 divided by minus 13 is that 13. Absolute value of 13 means 131. That is 13. After that, we can rationalize the denominator, which is equals 13 times the square root of 13 divided by 13 ስለሚሆን we can 13 by 13 ስለምናጠፋ what it means, which is equals the square root of 13. What does imply? This implies that therefore the origin and point P that is 6 4 are what? Are equidistant from the line L. ስለዚህ ከላይን L ያላቸው ዲስታንስ ምን እንላለን ማለት ነው? ተመሳሳይ ወይም ደግሞ equal ነው እንላለን ማለት ነው። So this is a way of finding a distance between a point and a line. በዛ አይነት መንገድ በላይን እና በፖይንት መካከል ያለውን ዲስታንስ እናገኛለን ማለት ነው። The other one, if we asked to find distance between two lines. In case of this, lines L1 let be and L2 must be what? ምን መሆን አለባቸው? must be parallel መሆን አለባቸው። በሁለት ላይኖች መካከል ዲስታንስ ከተጠየቀን ላይኖቹ መሆን አለባቸው parallel መሆን አለባቸው። Otherwise, if say this is L1 ይሄ ቢሆን L1, if we consider this is L2 ብንል, what's the distance between them? እዚህ ጋር ያላቸውን ዲስታንስ እዚህ ጋር ያለው ዲስታንስ እዚህ ጋር ኢንተርሴክት ያደርጋሉ። we don't have what equidistance in between. በመካከላቸው ምንም አይነት እኩል የሆነ ዲስታንስ ሊኖረን አይችልም። so to find distance between two lines, the line must be መሆን አለባቸው parallel መሆን አለባቸው። at the same times ምን እናደርጋለን? if they are parallel, choose a point from one line. ከአንዱ ላይን ላይ ምን እናደርጋለን? one point choose እናደርጋለን። after that apply ምን እናደርጋለን? apply distance between a point and line. በላይን እና በፖይንት መካከል ያለው ዲስታንስ ፎርሙላ apply እናደርጋለን ማለት። so check whether they are parallel or not. if they are parallel, choose one point from one line and apply distance formula between a point and line. በማድረግ we can find the distance between the two lines እንወስዳለን። let us see examples on this. Let's take, let L1 is equals to is y is equal plus 2x plus 5 is equals to 0. One line. The other L2 let's be, which is equals 2y plus 4x plus, let's take it is 6 is equals to 0. ይሄን መውሰድ እንችላለን። ለዚህ ሁለት ላይኖች ስናይ they have the same slope. የዚህኛው ኔጌቲቭ 2 ነው፣ የዚህም ኔጌቲቭ 2 slope ስላለው they are parallel ናቸው። if they are parallel, let us take one arbitrary point from second or the first one. ለምሳሌ ከመጀመሪያው L2 point ብንወስድ, take point from L2 ብንወስድ, let's take when x is 0, what the value of y? x 0 ሲሆን የy value ምን ሆነ? solve from this one, 2y is equals 6 ይሆናል። 2y is equals negative 6, sorry, 2y is equal negative 6 ስለሚሆን y value negative 3 ይሆናል። after that find distance formula or apply distance formula between a point and a line L1 እንወስዳለን ማለት። so this means distance between L1 to L2 becomes ይሆናል, which is equals to absolute value of point on line, that means y, that is negative 3 times 1 plus 2 times 0 plus 5 under absolute value divided by the square root of a, that means 2 square plus the square of b square, that is 1 square, which is equals የሚሆናል። እዚህ ጋር ስንሰራ negative 3, this is 0 plus 5, that is 2, absolute value of 2 ስለሚሆን divided by the square root of 4 plus 1 is the square root of 5, which is equals to the distance between them. ይሄ ሆነ በመካከላቸው ዲስታንስ በዛ አይነት መንገድ ማግኘት እንችላለን። if you want to have to rationalize the denominator, which is equals 2 times root 5 over 5 ይሆናል። this much unit ይሆናል ማለት ነው distance between them። በዛ አይነት መንገድ ማግኘት ይችላል። or similarly, if you want, you have to interchange them. take arbitrary point p ብንወስድ ከL2, let's take when x is 0, the value of y is negative 5 ይሆናል። so take 0 and negative 5. after that apply distance formula between L1 and L2 ብንወስድ distance between L1 with L2 by considering this arbitrary point is equals to ምን ይሆናል? ከL1 point ስለወሰድን ስለዚህ distance between point and line apply እናደርጋለን, which is equals 2 times the value of y is negative 5 plus that is 2 times sorry, x is 4, yes, yeah, the coefficient of x here is 4 ስለሆነ 4 times 0 plus here is 6 divided by the square root of a square, that is 4 square, that is 16, plus the square of b square, that is 2 square is 4 ይሆናል, which is equals ይህንን ስንሰራ negative 10 plus 6 means negative 4 ስለሚሆን absolute value of negative 4, that is 4, divided by this is the square root of 20, which is equals to 20 means the square root of 20 2 times root 5 ስለሚሆን this is 4 over 2 root. We cancel this 2 by 2 what remains, which is equals to 2 over root 5 ይሆናል። ይሄ ማለት rationalize the denominator scenario we get the same result what 5 here. If the vertices of what triangle ABC are A3, 4, B2, 1, state that is 6, 1, then find the length of BC, it says, and the altitude from vertex A to BC, and finally it says find the area ተጠይቃል። ስለዚህ ይህ ማለት ማለት from this what wow, if we consider this is xy plane, consider ብናደርግ the value A is that is 3, 4. Let's take 3 somewhere this. Let's take this one is 4. This is a point A. This is 4. Here is 3. The other one B is 2, 1. Here is 2. For instance, let's take here is 2. Let's take some values. Here is 1. The next one C. The value of C is 6, 2, 1. 6 is, let's see it somewhere. This is 6 and 1, which 6 to 1. Let us see this. So when sketch or join this is C. Join them and then join scenario. It looks like this one. እዚህ ይመስላል ማለት ነው። ትራያንግላችን ይሄ ይሆናል። This is A. A is this is 3 with 4. Our B is here is 2. Our C is 6 to 1 ይሆናል። ስለዚህ የተጠየቅነው ዲስታንስ ቢትዊን B and C ወይም ደግሞ BC ስለሆነ የተጠየቅነው what is that distance that is BC is equals to since the value of y is the same ስለሆነ we can take what the absolute value of difference of x's, that means 6 minus 2 አድርገን መውሰድ እንችላለን, which is equal to 4 ይሆናል። or if you want you have to apply distance formula apply ማድረግ ትችላላችሁ. but that this is 6 minus 2 the whole square plus 1 minus 1 the whole square አድርገን ስንሰራ which is equal to the square root of 6 minus 2 square means that is 4 square. 1 minus 1 that is 0 ስለሚሆን the square root of 4 square that is 4 ይሆናል. We give this result. The other one finds the altitude that is from A to BC ነው የተጠየቀው. A to BC. You have to sketch the graph here. ሌላው altitude ነው የተጠየቀው from A to BC. ስለዚህ let's take this one. in H ብንለው this is altitude H. How can we find this? እዚህ ጋር observe ስናደርግ the value of x is የx value እዚህ ጋር constant ነው the same constant ነገር ግን y vary ያደርጋል. vary የሚያደርገው ምንድነው? from 1 to 4 vary ያደርጋል. so the value of H is equals to the difference between values of y's y value ስለሆነ 4 minus 1 which is equals 3 ብለን በዚህ አይነት መንገድ መስራት እንችላለን. this is 3 ለምን? ምክንያቱም this is the value of x is the same constant 3 ስለሚሆን the value of h is 3. the other thing that we consider is that and find the area of the triangle. we find the area of triangle ABC is equals to ምን ይሆናል? this is times the base that is BC times the altitude that we call h ብለን this is equals to 1/2 times BC. length BC ስንት ነው? 4 units ስለሚሆን 4 units. Similarly, the h is that is 3 unit one, which is equals this is the value of.
Please subscribe, share and like our channel.